All right, we are live. Oh, no, now we live.
Oh.
Okay, can everybody that was patiently waiting in the chat, can you guys see us and hear us okay?
Oh, I see a dentist.
Welcome everybody in Cleveland, Ohio.
Not right.
You don't know how funny that is.
I know, right?
Uh-oh.
Are they in Cleveland?
All right. So, as I promised, I got the two people that taught me everything that I know about being behind a camera and editing and just how to be a better Christian, how to make inappropriate jokes at the wrong time, how to stutter and stammer all over yourself when you're given rules and you're not supposed to say certain things.
Where do I log in so I can ask questions?
So here they are. We are so lucky tonight. I thought we were just going to get Brian, but not only do we get Brian, but we're getting Bryton Ent from Bryton Entertainment here to answer all of your video production style type of questions. Plus, we are giving away tonight their recent documentary, Tuskegee Airmen, the 75th anniversary, in their own words, the Tuskegee Airmen, signed by Brian because Denton went in office the day that I was there. So we're giving this bad boy away. And let me go ahead and brag on them a little bit more. You guys know I talk about them a lot, but you guys know that this documentary, George Lucas himself used. He made his actors and actresses in his movie The Red Tail sit down and watch this documentary. And not to make Brian's head any bigger, but they even got a letter from George Lucas. So I don't know. Huh?
Y'all get to speak a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that letter. He used that documentary to make whichever of the Star Wars movies that you've seen is your favorite. So that's something like that. Now I want to tell you, I want to brag on Denton. This is so cool. Denton just finished director of photography for a motion picture, a science fiction motion picture that I can't tell you anything about. Isn't that awesome? Awesome.
That's awesome,
cool, isn't it?
He was actually able to, can't tell you anything about. And then one day he actually was able to, can't tell you anything about that either. But the coolest thing he did, I can't tell you anything about that either.
You have to sign non-disclosure agreements on these projects, and then you can't talk about it until it's released. So yeah, I mean, we're just kind of here saying how big of a deal we are. Nobody knows if we're telling the truth.
But we can't tell you anything about how big of a deal we are.
But can you tell us how long we have to wait before you can tell us anything?
So I can talk about the movie. I just can't give away like key plot points and stuff like that. It's a science fiction film that I believe is going to come to theaters either later this year or early next year. It's starring Luke Hemsworth is the big main star of it. It also stars Anna Hutchison, she's in Cabin in the Woods, some movies like that, and then some actors on various episodic television shows. And then a staple of Hollywood is Tom Atkins, who you may not know his name right offhand, but if you watch any movie from about 1963 or 1968, he's probably been in it in some shape, way, form, or another. But yeah, it was a dramatic sci-fi film.
Now who's calling?
I have no idea.
Who in the world is calling during our
congressman?
Yeah,
my congressman.
Are they asking about the NDA that I was supposed to have signed, and now I'm talking about it?
Yeah, they know.
No, apparently.
They know.
No,
Well, we can put the congressman on speakerphone.
Yeah.
It's
The
just
new-
a recording.
Yeah, the new thing now is the congressman calls you the day before a town meeting, and there's a recorded message,
Yeah.
and letting you know it's coming.
You don't even get to
and-
have fun with them anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I got one important question for you.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The movie that you just done got filming. Does it even remotely?
That we can't talk about.
Yeah, can't talk
I'm
about.
I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to find it was featured in Variety magazine when it was first announced, so I'm trying to find the link to it.
He's texting somebody.
No.
So my question is, but does this movie that you were on, the set that you were on, where you're director of photography, does it
Yes.
even hold a candle to Tom's missed call?
That's a good question because it does involve aliens. So it's kind of,
Tom's missed call might have a better mystery.
there might be a better
There might be a better
to it.
mystery in Tom's missed call.
Exactly.
There's a character, and for all you people that are watching out there, there's a character named Chuck that was based off yours truly, Jason. And he was paranoid. He drank a lot of milk out of bottles,
Mason jar.
mason jars.
Yeah.
Stars, yeah.
So it was a pretty true representation of Jason.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is
Luke Hemsworth.
You got to keep talking, Denton. That's what.
Okay.
Variety. Luke Hemsworth star in Twilight Zone inspired drama encounter. I'm not that great at reading backwards, but you can go on to variety.com and look that up. 2017 film news is where the subject heading. But yeah, you can read a little bit about the film there. So yeah, it was quite exciting to work on. And any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer.
Cool. Now,
Except what it's about and that sort of thing.
yeah, Mama
And what I
Cat,
did on it and
Mama
other
Cat,
stuff.
if it was filmed in Georgia, and I know the answer to that one. The answer to that one is yes. It was filmed in Augusta.
It was entirely filmed in Augusta.
Wow.
The company said that the budget they were working with would have been like quintupled if they had done it in Los Angeles or even Atlanta. So it was cheaper to do it here. They still get to take advantage of the 30% tax credit by the state of Georgia, but being that it's here in Augusta, they don't have to pay a lot of permits or pay for permits. Like in Augusta, you just clear it with the police and you can shut down a street if need be, without having to pay. You know, in Atlanta, you try to do that. And I think the last I looked it up, I think it was for an individual, like if we were to go set up a tripod in the middle of a city in Atlanta, it's going to be at least $250.
Who is?
You're a dork.
Who are you interviewing right now? This is freaking amazing. Oh my gosh. I got the idea from your congressman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll hang up now. But anyway, the meeting's going to be tomorrow at the Guidestones. Okay. Sorry, Denton. Well, I had to do that near the end of his story because he wasn't supposed to be talking about that stuff.
No, I didn't say anything. I just talked about the state of Georgia and their tax credit. I can do that.
The congressman called.
Yes.
Wait, where's Robin going? What's wrong?
We forgot to bring the phone out here. We got some emailed questions for you guys.
Okay.
So
Yes.
let's just start with the very basics of stuff. Whether you're filming with a gazillion-dollar red camera that you like to play jokes on people with the lenses, or you're filming something as simple with an iPhone, what are some basic rules that the people in the chat box, these YouTube creators, need to know when filming? What are some things that they need to get in the habit of doing that makes their video or makes their video more appealing, that people will sit and want to watch it? Besides having
case in point here, I think both of us could benefit from having an actual microphone on. That's one of the biggest things, is you can have horrid video quality, but so long as you can hear what's being said, people can excuse video quality well before they can excuse the quality of audio. You got to be able to understand and make out what's being said. I mean, my goal is when I'm DPing a project is if you can mute it, you can still understand what's going on. But if it's not muted and you can't understand a single word, then that's a problem. So a really nice mic, or at least a mic, a directional mic or a shotgun mic or a wireless mic or something is going to be better to work with. That's one of the first things I would suggest. Short of that, just, you know, if your framing is done like this on me, it's like, yeah, hey guys, what's going on? You know, I've seen videos like this. So where we're sitting, you can put it back where it was. You know, if you split your scene into thirds, you'll notice that our eyes are on about the 2/3 line right here. So here's the second third. So you'll notice, turn on your TV or watch a movie or something like that, and you'll see those are your thirds. And then we're kind of on the other third right here. So you can go in the Renaissance rule of thirds and kind of work on framing. And we always joke that if we've got, you know, like that's a nice cactus on our calendar. So if we wanted to include that, there's a reason for that framing. But if we framed like this, hey guys.
There was I'll tell you a quick story. There was a guy that filmed on a concert with us one time named Jason Rare. And he had actually, he was filming and his camera was framed up like this on a singer who was kind of singing the mic like this. And we were asking him, was a cat about to jump out or was something going to jump out from behind him, because you're giving us a lot of anticipation here. Really exciting. And Jason said, no, I just thought it would be cool. We said, don't you ever think
now
on one of our productions again.
It can be used, and see, this framing right there is not good.
That was bad too.
What Brian was showing can be used. That's negative space, and there's reasons for that. But if that's not intended, it's not as favorable.
Yeah, there should be something in that space. It's like real estate. You don't want any, like you guys have too much headroom, Jason. So, but that's okay. There you go. There you go.
He refuses to fix it.
Every time I fix it, you jump up, put your boobs in the camera.
No.
Whoa.
No. It's kind of a film.
Anyway, speaking of the Christian element of
there you go.
Let's match framing here. There we go. Let's. Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that better?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because you and I are uneven. It's a little weird sometimes.
Well, you go with the taller person in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even jacked my chair up higher. I'm still short. Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so audio.
Did we take another caller?
The audio is you're saying audio is one of the most important things. Then what's next, in your opinion?
Framing's important, but like take for example, if Brian and I were doing our interview, let's back up.
Well,
can you even really see what we're doing?
Yeah. Well, this little tiny thing, we can't see it, but maybe you guys full screen or whatever.
Yeah.
So if we did that versus.
Oh boy. Talk. Got to talk. You can't see him.
What's going on?
You're dead space.
I have a lot of negative space, and yeah. So, you know, if you want to direct the viewer's eye and focus, that's framing has a lot to do with it. You can tell a lot, like which direction a character is looking, how they're looking, if their camera's slightly above or slightly, slightly above versus slightly under looking up at someone. That gives a different feeling, but that's only if you're really intending to have that sort of an emotional effect on your person. But that's really from a film perspective. You just want to make sure if you're doing a YouTube video like what you guys do with your channel, so long as people can hear and then clearly see. Like if you're saying, you know, this pair of pliers that I'm holding right here, this is the correct way to do it. And if you can't really see what I'm doing, insert a close-up that shows the correct way to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin's already ahead of you, Jason, because a lot of film crews, you need a ponytail.
That's true.
And it adds to, you know, you can add, there's no telling how much money we've added on our invoices because of my ponytail. and people will pay for it because it's expected and you need one.
He'll help us, you said.
Okay,
He'll
so
be
Brian,
professional,
there's
you
a
said.
great question that was asked. What do you recommend for somebody? Because a lot of people nowadays are just using phones because the capability has gotten so much better on smartphones. What can they use if they don't have a steady hand short of a tripod?
With a phone?
Is there any suggestion?
Well, there are selfie sticks. I mean, you know, that you can use and at least balance it a little bit. But it's I mean, I know they're a clip-on.
Yeah, there's a little handheld thing. What is it called? An Osmo, I think it is.
Yeah, that you can use.
It's something that clicks to your phone. That it's almost like a little stabilizing device that you can hold it.
So does it resist some of the like shock resistant or anything like that? Or
well, anyway, anytime you can hold something that kind of takes the pressure off holding the phone.
Okay.
You know, you're going to be able to. But the problem with the phones are pretty incredible. Some of the video nowadays, but the audio again, like Denton was saying, you want good audio, and that's the big difference between using your phone and using at least a lavalier microphone or a boom mic.
And even if it's recorded separately, it doesn't have to be recorded straight into the device.
Right.
I've got actually, hold on, I'll go get it. It's like a, what is it called? It's a little mixer that you can hook up a mic and it.
Tascam.
No, not the Tascam. Hang
on. The turbo.
Now.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know we had that same problem with audio when we were in Helen. We forgot to take our camera with us, and so we were going to try and shoot just a little bit of video while we were out, and the audio just totally was messed up really bad.
Right,
so not to do that.
This is a good one to. It's not really a field deal, but this is.
Audio
let's see, an audio box. This has a couple of XLR inputs. It's got its own preamps, and you can hook it into your computer. So you can record voiceovers or such, and you've got XLR, you've got 1/4 inch. What's the other one that this has? I forget the other one. No, it doesn't have an 1/8 inch. Anyways, yeah, something like this is really good. And this, as you can see, was $100 from Portman's. This is really good if you've got hooking up a mic, doing like what you guys are doing right now, or what we're doing. We could hook this up and then run it through, and then it works out that way.
But you guys know that, I mean, just since the beginning of your YouTube site, that as you've started using that lapel mic, it's tremendously better. A lot better. You just need to be able to hear.
Has Denton ever heard of this? It's called a Zoom. It's an audio recorder. That's what I use.
Because
those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Our audio used to be absolutely horrible, and it was so frustrating to try and tweak it and fix it. And this took all of the pretty much all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
But you're also using it with a mic, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because it can connect with XLR cables, or it can plug straight. It's got a jack straight in the back, and then it can plug.
Okay. Yeah.
The XLR cables too, as well. It works really nice. Plus, this right here acts like a shotgun mic too, if you just wanted to use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, just good audio. If you're going to use a phone, try to get some kind of like a Zoom or an audio box like Denton has, and that'll help.
Now, how important is, because you kind of already kicked me under the bus once. I'm afraid to ask any more questions.
Ask more about you.
No, I don't want to ask any more about me, because y'all always forget to add in the point that I was just learning.
Jason was an incredible pack mule. I mean,
Nice.
Let's get Brian on.
We're all still learning. There's things that can always be passed around and knowledge that can always be shared. I always tell people, anything that I can, people that like Jason, when you worked with me, I always said, there's anything I can tell you that might help you out. And if I don't know the answer, we can look it up and learn together. So that's a big aspect that we always try to do, is teach. But we're all still learning.
Jason put the ass in aspect.
Okay, question. What can you do to improve lighting?
That's what I was going to get to next.
That's using light is a big thing. I'll start there. A lot of people, I mean, a lot of cameras these days are really sensitive, and people say you can get away with not even using light on it. But that to me is
Sacrilege.
well, it is, but it's also, it's like you might be able to get away with it, but using a light, you're going to get more information going into the sensor.
Look,
And you can use a lower.
You used to make us hold all kinds of reflectors to bounce light off of stuff.
No, exactly. That's completely necessary.
Even the young ones, Carol, Ladessa, both having to hold that in your videos.
See, you were going to bring that up. So I wasn't even going to bring that up.
Child labor.
So
You know what? I want to say one thing. One thing you need on your productions, or you need if you're going to film something, is, and yes, Robin and Blaze, and Ladessa and Caroline are amazing, but Jason really is an incredible worker. But no, he's actually he's a good guy, good worker. And you got to have somebody who's willing to get out there and just work and just do the best they can. He learned a lot, and he's again watching you guys' videos. I mean, they've just gotten, everyone gets better.
But yeah, from a start using light and then being able to control the light, and that's where you were just talking about reflectors. You can use that, and then when you get on to if you're going to go to work on a production that's got like a grip truck, you've got flags and scrims and silks of various types that you can use, and then that's going to help you just control light. So really it's just putting enough light out onto a scene that you can get a good exposure, and then once you get that, you can look into contrast ratios, like how bright is, like right now our overhead lights in the office are for some odd reason not working, so we just threw up one light obviously to this side, but you can see we're quite contrasty, which there's reasoning if you do that in film.
We wanted you to see us in mood lighting. Make us look
we wanted
sexier.
it to be a little moody, so yeah.
you're doing that hoping it'll take off some pounds, Brian.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping. I think we added a few on the left side.
Wow.
So when it comes to lighting, you just can't use any old-fashioned different type of light bulb, can you?
Yeah, you can, so long as you don't have multiple color sources. Like, take for example, your inside, we'll just go with incandescent bulbs, are going to be at about 2900 Kelvin. You can use that, but then if you've got in the same room something that's more around, I think your household, what is it, the CFL bulbs are going to be daylight balanced is around 5000. So if you start adding in something that's closer to tungsten balance, so tungsten being 3200 on your fixtures, if you've got something like that mixed in with a somewhere around 5000 or 5600 source, you get the blue-orange look. Either it's going to look white and then blue, or it's going to look white and then orange using your two different bulb colors. So long as, now, if you're intending to mix color temperatures, which there are times you will, this film that I just shot, we did some overnight shoots of some guys in a field, and our moonlight, we used some HMI lights, which are daylight balanced. They're balanced to 5600 Kelvin. So we use also a I want to say it was around 2900 Kelvin lantern, and the lantern was put right in the middle of all of them. So when that's colored, instead of it being at 5600 to where that daylight looks, that daylight light looks white, if the Kelvin temperature is brought down to, I think the cameras were set to 4000 Kelvin, so that made the blue from our moonlight, it looks a little bit more blue. It's not like really, really blue, but it looks just blue enough that it gives that sense of night, but keeping it at 4,000 Kelvin makes the lantern light still look a little on the orange side. So you can play with mixing color temperatures, but that's a lot in work that I've seen of people just kind of getting started and getting into the lighting field and art, because it really is an art. I'm still learning every day stuff that we're working on. If you're not meaning to do it, like you always look at motivated lighting. Like if you look at Renaissance paintings, there's always, if it's contrasty like this, there's a window that's put in and you see the light falling off in one way. That, and then using separate light sources. When you see a double shadow, that's another kind of no-no. You don't usually see, I mean, even looking out into your office that is lacking one set of lights, you don't usually have a lot of double shadows. Lighting coming from multiple sources is what I'm saying. So like right now, you can see there's a shadow on Brian, but then if I had another light that was casting a shadow from over here, that's going to distract you, and then you're going to say, it takes you out of the illusion that you're looking at a world. It's like, oh, they were just filming something.
Yeah.
Right.
So motivated lighting is a big thing. If, again, if you're outside, take the example of the film I just worked on. If you're outside, all of my moonlight came from one direction, which was screen left. So when you're looking at it, there's no lighting on one side of the actors' faces other than fill lighting, and that's just so it wouldn't be a complete lit, unlit. But all of the light is coming more directionally from one side. So there's motivation to my lighting, is what I'm getting at. So that's a good one.
So would people do best if they just like if they went into the Home Depot and bought the daylight light bulbs?
It depends on their use, like what they're planning to do. And what I mean by that is you could go buy some of the Home Depot work lights, and so long as you can control them. Now, something really good that I'll use here and there is called Cinefoil. It's also, what's another, black wrap, I think is what they call it. It's like an aluminum foil, but it's heat resistant and it crinkles up, and you can put it around a light source. So you could get one of those work lights from, say, Home Depot. Usually I think they come in 500 watts. You could get that to kind of shape the light so you could control spill. So you can almost create barn doors for your lighting using something like Cinefoil. And from B&H, I think you can buy a roll for like $20, something like that. Yeah. He's going to grab a light. I'll grab the Cinefoil when he gets back. But then using stuff to diffuse is really good. Instead of, if you don't have access to silks and scrims and double scrims and that sort of a thing, or flags, nets, that sort of a thing, you can, yeah, Brian's got a piece. You can also, I've used parchment paper before. So like baking paper, it doesn't burn. It gets up to 300 degrees or whatever, 400 degrees without catching on fire. You want to be careful, of course, because I have seen it catch on fire. So,
and he mentioned barn doors. These are barn doors. So, yeah.
So angle it slightly. There you go. So this is emitting light. So then what we can do, that sounds horrid. You can shape this down to where it's more of a, the light's only going to be coming out from here. So then what you can do, this is what I was talking about. This is black wrap. So whenever I cut a piece, I try to save it. But you could actually take it around like so, squeeze it down, and you could do almost the same thing the barn doors are doing, just by, see, look, it maintains its shape.
Origami.
So, and then I can take it off and see it still maintains that shape. So this is a really good piece to have in a lighting kit from any size, whether you're working with a grip truck on a feature film, or if you've got lighting from something like Home Depot work lights. That's something good to have on there. But
you talk about the focus or the...
Oh yeah, so this particular light, this is a Fresnel light, and What that is it's the lens that it's got on it. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it's got those concentric rings.
Mm-hmm.
So what this does is the light itself, and this is a tungsten 650 watt Fresnel.
Wow.
Let's see. Is this one? They're supposed to open.
Let's take a caller.
Let's take a caller while I'm doing this. So what happens is on the inside of this, there's a track that the fixture itself, the bulb hooks into that gets its power, and then this knob on the back, to spot it down, you bring it farther away. So the bulb is actually moving farther away from that lens, which is going to take the light's cast from this down to more of a spotlight.
Now, are LEDs that, because Mama Cat said, is an LED light better than others? That she has a work light like what you just described that she got from Lowe's, but it's an LED.
We're LEDs. There you go. There's the track inside. I got it open, so you can see how this will move in and out as I rotate this knob. So one advantage of LEDs is they don't generate a lot of heat. So something like this guy is really hot when you turn it on. Now it puts out a lot of light, but when you're working in a small set with multiple people and actors and the air conditioner's turned off, you want to use lights that aren't nearly as hot. So LEDs are advantageous for that.
This guy's really hot too.
Yeah, you can see that.
It's kind of warm today.
Whoa! What was that?
I was just somebody was talking about calling the house. Somebody was trying to follow your lead and talking about calling the house, so I just showed them that I unplugged it.
Right.
So now what do you guys recommend? Because let me ask you this. To be able to clean your lens and your cameras, that's pretty much just straight across the board stuff to do that, right? Or do you need specific stuff for specific cameras?
There's differing thoughts on the matter. Some people you ask will say that using the like glass cleaning Zeiss glass cleaning wipes, you can use those, and some lenses are coated, some lenses aren't coated. So what I typically do, instead of using the wipes, like I will use some of those. There's also a lens cleaning brush that I got. It was like $6 or $7. You can get them from pretty much any photography store. Let me grab it. I'll just show it to you.
That brush was awesome because I saw him using it today on our HVX, and you know the HVX. We got to clean yours too, Jason. But Denton was on a music video shoot yesterday in Atlanta that we can't tell you anything about. And
we can tell him about it a little bit.
Well, we won't tell him much about it. It's rough.
So this is my lens cleaning pen.
Oh,
and on one side, it's got this little scrubbing deal, if you can see that. So you can go in little tiny circles to get fingerprints. You shouldn't ever have fingerprints, but occasionally it does happen. You always have to handle a lens.
When you're falling because you tripped on some sweet gum balls and you grab the GoPro and put the finger right on the lens. Yeah.
And
it happened.
Sweet gum balls.
So what I do, take for example, you can just go in little tiny circles like this. Hey, what better way to show than to, actually do it, right?
No.
So you go in little tiny circles, and then on this side, there's a little brush that comes out.
Whoa!
Whee! So then once you get all the little dust marks off, you can do that.
That looks like Hope's.
And now look how much prettier we are.
I was just gonna say that looks like Hope's makeup brush that she has.
Well, now we can see it. It wasn't something on the lens. It is a booger hanging out of Brian's nose.
Exactly. So that's I'll usually do that, but I will also use some of like the Zeiss lens cleaning wipes. And those, like I said, this is like $6 or $7 from B&H Photo is where I got this from. The Zeiss wipes, I think you can pick them up at like CVS sells them. They're glass cleaning wipes, but you can buy the official ones from B&H or any store that's a little bit more expensive.
So can you use Simply 7 wanted to know, can you use
Eyeglass cleaner.
eyeglass cleaner? Would that
Now I've heard of people doing that. I guess it depends on the type lens and whether it's coated or not. If it's coated, you probably not want to. But my recommendation, if you are going to use something like that, is don't spray it directly on the lens. Always put it on like a microfiber cloth, spray it on the cloth, then do it to the lens. And then be careful of what you're going to wipe it off with, because if it is an abrasive cloth, even though it might not seem like it is, that's like the microfiber cloths are the best to use for it. Because even a paper towel, you wouldn't think of it, but it's more rough than you would imagine. So as long as you're using something that's made for the purpose of cleaning glass, it won't put like little micro scratches in it. Because that's what you want to watch, because it might seem like, oh, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but the way light refracts off of it, it could make some sort of an optical manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
The way light refracts.
When Jason used to work with us, he would make manifestations on the couch sometimes, and then leave the room and blame it on someone else.
They all know that.
And there was no lens cleaner big enough, or microfiber tissue.
So
now, let's talk about B-roll for a second.
B-roll.
A lot of the people that are in this chat box, a lot of them do what they call vlogs, where they basically kind of sit there and they tell about their day, or they're talking about their day, and they show themselves cleaning something in super speed.
Mm-hmm.
How important is B-roll? If I was just sitting here talking about checking my beehives, how important is it that I actually show what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you mean by beehive, but well, if you want to go show a beehive, go ahead and get a long shot of the yard. Kind of show where the beehive is in relation to anything else in the yard. Kind of go over there to the bee, whatever you got to do with the beehive, do that. And like Denton was saying, get some close-ups. Have your camera person get some close-ups of your hands. Kind of go there, all the stings. We want to see every sting that happens to you. You're on your beehive. And no, but yeah, really, you just want to get as many shots that you think would be interesting for someone watching, because it's very boring if you're just in the garage talking about the beehive. We want to see what you're doing. We want to see how you do it. And it needs to be very clear as to how you would exactly do this.
And
so
a lot of people learn visually. So when you show them, if you say, this is a beehive, what exactly does that mean? And then, like, how do you put on the mask so the bees don't stab you in the eyeballs or anything like that? So when you put on this whole gear, seeing how it's done is going to be more beneficial, I think, than somebody just strictly saying, this is how you do it.
Just kind of talking about it.
So this is what's funny. Everybody is reacting to, you're talking about your camera person or this, that, and the other. And one of the other ladies, because we used the example of being by a beehive, one of our other bee people, she said, has this man ever filmed bees? And I'll tell you, let me.
I have filmed beehives,
but
not the beehive. Okay.
So, well, what I was going to say is one of the best tools that we ever invested in was that GoPro, because we can be far enough away to get a decent tight and a decent wide shot. But when Jason is actually in the beehives and he's pulling frames out and stuff, he has the GoPro attached right to his chest, and you can see just about everything that he does. So it's pretty cool to be able to use.
And that's the thing. You illustrate for those of us who don't work with bees and we don't we don't have that experience, it's beneficial for us to learn what the process is. Like, I love watching the Science Channel, the TV show How It's Made. That show is entirely B-roll.
Predator control on the homestead.
What's that?
I thought you were getting ready to say predator control on the homestead.
Oh, that's my second favorite.
Yeah.
But it's a great show to watch because you can watch. I mean, watching the manufacturing process is always fascinating. It's something that you use every day, and then if you see it done that way, you know, I mean, I'm not going to go out and start doing it myself, but that's the B-roll is extremely important. Something like that TV show, How It's Made, you can really understand its importance because, well, that one doesn't really rely on any real interviews or anything like that. So, and quick tidbit, the way B-roll came about was in the early days of like something just binged. Was that you or us?
I think that was.
Oh.
We're sharing your website and YouTube channel and stuff like that in the chat box. So
the way it came about was you had your A roll, which was your interviews going. So then you would switch to a different VTR that was playing or a different film reel that was going to be your B roll. So pretty exciting stuff, isn't it?
Well,
like,
I mean, it's pretty important now, don't you think? I mean, all of America is like ADHD. So how often would you suggest for a YouTube creator, how often should they change what the person's looking at to be able to keep them engaged? Because for us, watch time is key. Meaning how long they stay for the video is
well,
really.
we're always talking with you guys. Keep your if you can, keep it concise, keep it short, and anytime you change subjects or anytime you're describing something, like Robin does some of the I think the last one we watched is you were making was it Play-Doh, and like flavored I don't think you could eat it, but it was flavored Play-Doh, like something like that. But it was pretty cool.
It was probably flavored Play-Doh.
Cut to how you're making it. You know, to have shots of exactly what's going on. Like Denton said, people are visual; they learn visually, and keep it concise. And anytime anytime it bores you, if it's on you for so long, cut to something, cut away. So yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to answer a really funny question that was in the chat. Everybody sees your mannequin behind you in the background.
What mannequin?
They were like, is that a blow-up doll or a mannequin?
She's being real still because we told her we're on TV. Both her daddies are on TV. Be still or we'll chain you to the toilet again. And that's kind of what's going on there. Should we have said that on live?
No.
Whatever.
So we did a music video a couple years ago, and that are we still on there? Yeah, we're still okay. All right. So, and this is for Seven of the Seven lady. Yeah. So we did a music video a couple years ago, and the video was about a relationship and a love relationship where this girl is kind of falling apart. So the mannequin, the girl, we hired a girl who looked kind of like the mannequin, bought a mannequin kind of looked like the girl, and so the mannequin ends up kind of pulling apart during the video.
It's really artistic.
It's very weird.
It's really weird.
You filmed at a great location for that one too, on a farm, and
yeah, it was the Rares used to live in an amazing place because it was closer to us.
Yes.
And then they moved near the wicked Guidestones of Elberton. But sorry, I have to go into my druid voice when I talk about the Guidestones. But no, yeah. So we actually filmed some on Jason's farm, and you guys can see that video. It's called Climate Change on YouTube. And well, oh gosh, we'll have to send them a link because there's lots of climate change on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
a yellow rubber band or
plastic,
yeah, plastic yellow band.
Plastic yellow band.
Yeah.
We were fortunate enough to be involved in a couple of their great projects. Some really cool ones. My favorite, well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of partial to two of them. One was the
Baby says Bling's a thing.
Well, that one, but I was actually thinking about the peach, the thing you guys were doing for the author
Yeah,
to
that didn't get
raise.
released yet.
Oh, well, nobody
You're not
knows
supposed- you're not
about it,
supposed to talk
so.
about it.
But it's still really cool watching them work with the girls. And
Oh yeah, the Peaches video. Yeah.
some of the pictures that I have, I don't know that we ever shared them with you, but I have some pictures. See, Carol used to fancy Denton a lot. And so anything that anything that Denton was doing, Carol wanted to be right next to him learning. And when we were working on that, I had pictures of her. He was showing her how to look in the camera and do different things, and you could just see her just being all excited, and it was just really neat to see. So
Well, they're awesome, and having her being in love with Denton's a lot better than Blaze being in love with Denton. So, not that there's anything wrong with that. Blaze is cool. But yeah, no, that was a really cool video, and the girls did great. They got to act. They got to be on a key wall and tell little stories that the author provided them, and they were great. They did a really good job. We get to have fun for a living, probably like you guys too. And we have mannequins on our office.
Yeah, blow-up dolls.
I don't know about blow-up dolls.
But one thing that I also liked having worked with you guys is that there were a lot of times you had tools that worked really good for you, but some that you just made on your own, which is kind of important for these guys here. They can use just random stuff that they find around the house. Like I know you guys had were they called apple boxes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, and you made a couple of them, correct? Or most of them?
Denton made everything.
I made 2 sets of apple boxes, yeah.
Yeah, and the dolly and all kinds of different things. You guys made a lot of it, correct?
Yeah. He also made a shoulder mount out of PVC.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
my next question I was going to go into is editing software. There are so many different kinds that is available to the YouTuber. Not everybody has access to the Premiere or Final Cut Pro. Some of them use Movie Maker, and I think YouTube has a real one. How important is a quality editing software to your final product?
It really it makes the process much easier. Something that's user-friendly is really important to edit because you can spend countless hours putting something together.
Yeah.
And if you're constantly fighting the program or the program's crashing or something like that,
Importing, exporting, editing, all that stuff's kind of tedious work. So yeah, you need something that can handle it. Final Cut Pro, we use Premiere predominantly here, Adobe Premiere, just because it's just very easy to work with.
and the newest, you can get a subscription to the cloud, the Creative Cloud, and what is it, like $30 a month? You can use a version
Most
of Premiere.
everything.
Yeah, I think you have
Photoshop, Premiere, everything.
Yeah, so
So
it's gotten to where it's not really cost prohibitive for people to use something quality like Premiere, good quality editing software. But yeah, I think it's paramount to, if you wanted to do anything video related, even graphic related. I mean, if you go onto your computer and look at Microsoft Paint versus using something like Photoshop, there's a learning curve to it, but with YouTube, there's enough people that give you a demo of how it works that it's not as daunting as it once was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jason learned Premiere. I mean, never mind.
who won the Tuskegee Airmen documentary?
That's what we're getting ready to give away.
Okay.
We got like 5 minutes.
Because we got like 5 minutes, and then Wholesome Roots is going on for their very first ever live stream.
Is that a band?
No,
No,
just
it's a
another YouTube creator.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Nice.
So
Yeah, when I was in France working on a film, and there was a cover band that came to town called Hot Daddy, and there were signs that were up for the entire time we were there. We were there for about 2 months, advertising that, I'll never forget it, July 27th, Hot Daddy was coming to Tribou. That's where we were at, Tribou, France. And Hot Daddy came. It was a French cover band doing American, like, 70s rock. It's everything you could have imagined. So I got kind of excited when I heard the name. It sent me back to seeing Hot Daddy.
Wholesome Roots, gotcha.
Hotel Bill.
Okay, so right now we're going to give away Bryton Entertainment's highly successful, in their own words, the Tuskegee Airmen documentary.
Very awesome
Now,
documentary.
Thank you.
this is not just the documentary. This is the 75th anniversary version of the documentary, where there is a panel on here where there's Tuskegee Airmen on this panel with, I want to say, both of y'all were on the panel, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, Tuskegee Airmen and the former administrator of NASA.
Yeah. So, and they're fielding
We can't say anything else about it.
and doing all kinds of things that they do.
Now, it's a very cool story. The Tuskegee Airmen are amazing. So, and the winner is Abby Jeffers.
What?
Abby Jeffers. Oh, no, you guys picked the winner. Never mind. Sorry. Go ahead.
This is your idea.
No, it was your ideas, all
I'm just
you.
Okay, so out of all the stuff that you talked about tonight, Denton,
Yes.
why don't you do a pop quiz? Ask a question, and then the first person that gets it right.
I have to think over what we all talked about. Oh, a good question is,
Ask someone to describe
Was-
Kelvin.
was that a pickle in Jason's jar that he's drinking from?
Oh.
Because I thought it was a pickle. But
I
I'm
did
sure I'm
too.
not the only one who thought it was a pickle.
Was that a pickle in Jason's jar? Wait a minute. What question was that?
Glass.
That's what he
There's
was writing earlier.
There is a pickle in Jason's jar. Yeah. Go ahead.
Lying to the homestead.
No, Lynn trying to homestead.
Lynn trying to the homestead one. No, it is not a pickle. It is
Monster.
monster
Mint
mint
leaves.
leaves that we grew here on
Ah.
Oh,
Now you can see how we thought it was a pickle.
it was green.
Not really, but
Not really.
okay.
We don't know anything about bees or pickles.
Remember, we were talking about refraction of lenses.
Mhm.
You're using a clear glass, refraction of light. It looked like a pickle to us.
Well,
Yeah.
and the other thing too is it's kind of bent, like there's designs in the glass. So I
Yeah,
And
that's a pickle
tilt it up
for an
slightly.
alien.
If you hold it up slightly like that,
yeah,
no, like you're drinking it,
yeah,
and then put more in it, there's a pickle.
there's a pickle. That's funny. So
All right, so Lynn, send us an email
mhm.
Oh no. With the answer?
with no, she already won. Where for her,
I already said it wasn't a pickle.
Oh, she won. Okay, she won. Okay, thank you, Lynn.
hold on,
We'll figure it out. We'll do both if we
Yeah.
have to.
we'll figure it out. I'll come down and get another one if we have to.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll sign that one. I wasn't here when that one apparently was given out,
Yeah.
so
all
it
right.
went out to my John Hancock.
Lynn, you're an important man to us.
Now, before we finish out, before we turn over, one thing I did want to say, you were talking about how wonderful our place was down in Grovetown. I just want to kind of extend the invitation again. And if you guys ever want to come up here and film it all, you're more than welcome. We now have 21 acres and lots of fun things for you guys
Wow.
to look into. So where we before, we only had like 2.5 before. So
Yeah. Well, we try to come every fourth Ladessa's birthday.
yep, I know. Wait until it's October and it's cool.
If we come, can we bring Tom?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll bring Tom.
We just processed our steers, so we've got really good grass-fed beef up here too.
Ooh.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Go
Uh-huh.
out there for lunch.
We need to take a vacation. We've been working too much. Come see you guys for a day.
We got some good steaks, boys.
We got some good steaks. So anyway. All right.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming by. We'll try to do this again sometime here in the near future. So if you guys want to keep emailing us your questions, we'll try to get them. Jatam, we never got your question emailed. So I want right now, everybody, I want you to go on over to Wholesome Group. And
I am Groot.
they are getting ready to kick off their very first ever live stream. So we'll be.
Yeah, we know what it's like doing that first one, and you look out there and there's nobody there. So
Yep.
we want everybody that's here
I
to go on over there and show them some love.
Show them some love.
Yeah.
And she's going to have a really good, cool show tonight because she's talking about what's going on her farm tomorrow with the state of Georgia, how they're coming over to hang out. So thanks everybody. Remember, be nice to one another and do your part to help take care of this planet because we've only got one.
And the fun stops here.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.
Good morning.